Playoffs. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Burton. My name is Devin Serra, alongside my tag team partner, Reagan Cleaves, and we're happy to bring you the playoffs right here, presented by MCHC.com. Now, Reagan, these two teams, if you've been following us for the last week, have known each other very well. Michigan got the first win on their home ice 4-2. Then Central on senior night got the upset over Michigan 4-2. So now we get this series at 1-1 apiece. It's do or die for both in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's the rubber match here this afternoon. CMU with that win last weekend, Devin, against Michigan. Their first since 2019 in regulation against these Wolverines. So it's a win a long time coming. And if you're CMU, you're trying to continue that success. What you did last game was not, you were able to get past some early adversity. You were able to get some momentum on your side, and then you swung the home crowd to victory.
3 different Chippewa scores, 4 different were the heroes in that one. Jay Nadeau got himself a 0.1 second buzzer beater empty netter, but the highlight was Connor Morgan, Brendan Schultz, and Brandon Clements getting his first of the year. Taking a look at this one tonight, this is the first of 4 games for the MCHC East from Crystal Fieldhouse. Along the other rink, you call that the other, what do they call that
South
other rink? The South rink is Northwood taking on Oakland, and Northwood got a win and a tie over the Golden Grizzlies. They're fighting for their lives as they are the 16th and final spot heading into the national tournament at this moment with the updated rankings, and Michigan is ranked number 20.
Yeah, and the big thing about that Oakland team sitting at 16, Devin, if there's an auto bid from outside the top 16, Oakland will be the team that gets bumped if they remain at that 16 spot. So if you're the Golden Grizzlies, you desperately need that win over a team that you struggled against last weekend.
We know Northwood's been hot. They beat the Chippewas on their senior night last 2 weeks ago. Looking at this one tonight in a closer look, Connor Chi and Will Rathmatter were the only goal scorers for U of M tonight. We'll get to Connor Chi later in this broadcast, but the Chippewas were a perfect 9 for 9 on the special team penalty kill last week. It was the big reason why they were able to come out on top. Before we talk about that and more, let's look at your MCHC East rankings as they come into this tournament. Lawrence Tech got the first spot in that, so they take on Adrian later tonight. The Blue Devils finished with 12 wins. Their only loss this year, well, it was against Saginaw Valley State last week against number 15. Meanwhile, Saginaw Valley State slotted in at that number 2 spot. They'll take on U of M Flint, who is the host team for this tournament. Right after this game, Oakland at number 3, Michigan at that 4 seed, tied with Central in points, but Michigan got the tiebreaker due to goals as well as their point, and then Central Michigan slots in at that 5th seed. Northwood at 6, U of M Flint at 7, and Adrian at number 8. We mentioned the games tonight. Oakland Northwood going on next to our vantage point. Saginaw Valley State and Flint at 8:30 p.m., as well as Lawrence Tech and Adrian at 8:45. And quickly, the MCHC West playoffs going on as well. MSU taking on Ferris State. That game has already been underway. We'll see if we get a score update for you. Calvin versus Davenport at 8 p.m. and Grand Valley State against Western Michigan. And the big thing out of that division, Reagan, was that Hope College jumped Grand Valley State for that number 1 seed, so they get the bye because there's only 7 teams in the West Division. Grand Valley State lost to Ferris State last week.
Yeah, and that's a massive loss, not only, Devin, for the
unranked Ferris State.
For the implications in the MCHC tournament, it also is big coming into the national tournament picture. GVSU ranked at number 1 team in the nation, loses pretty badly to a Ferris State team that isn't even in the top 25. We'll see how that shakes out later.
It was only Ferris State's 6th win of the season, but they did it against the best of the best that the ACHA has to offer. Before we go to break, we want to remind you that we are working from a difficult streaming vantage point in Crystal Fieldhouse. We know we've had connection issues here in the past. We did some remedies to try and fix that, a Wi-Fi router, but you still may experience some video connection issues. The audio should be up for you, but this game, as always, will be uploaded right after the conclusion of it, as you can find it in our YouTube videos page. Remember, the live stream page as well as the videos page for CMU versus Michigan. We'll be right back to continue the pregame show for the first round of the MCHC playoffs. Welcome back to our pregame show for the first round of the MCHC Tournament Playoffs. Devin Serra alongside Reagan Cleaves looking at the two teams on the ice. The number 5 seed Central Michigan Chippewas with a record of 11 wins, 12 losses, 2 overtime losses, and 1 tie. The first season since 2018-19 that they finished under 500 in the regular season. But they won 5 of their last 8 heading into the second semester. The best record they've had through 8 games all year. And Reagan, bring you into the fold. 5-3 is a pretty good nod, and one way to cap off the regular season, beating Michigan.
Yeah, it's a great way to finish off the regular season, especially when you ended that second semester struggling against those big heavyweights in Division III with the likes of GVSU and Florida Gulf Coast. I mean, what really helped CMU at the end of that was they were undefeated at home in the second semester. They did not lose at Martin Ice Arena. So that really, I think, is what carried CMU's momentum throughout that second half. They did a really good job of keeping that momentum going, even on the road in some tough games.
Yeah, like you mentioned, all 5 of those wins were on home ice, 5 straight to end the regular season. On the other side of the timeline, Michigan Wolverines, the number 4 seed, 17-6-1-0 on the year. They finished 4th in the MCHC East after losing back-to-back games against Oakland. They're coming in, losing 3 of the final 4 on their slate. Their biggest win this year against number 3 Florida Gulf Coast. And there you see they are currently ranked number 20 in the country after the updated rankings came out literally this morning. So Michigan has to win in order to fight their way into any chance of holding on to their reigning title as national champions.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough road for the Michigan Wolverines to get back into the national tournament picture. What they got to do this weekend is beat Central Michigan and win their game in the second round. Should they come to that, it's going to be a tough road for them, and it's rare, especially in D3, to see a team not even make it into the national tournament the year after they win the national title. So Michigan hoping to avoid that fate.
Yeah, Michigan, as you see, has led the all-time series 7 of the last 10 meetings. However, Central is 2-3-1 in their last 5 games. We're going to take one more break and get Reagan's impact players as keys of the game for this playoff game. Don't go anywhere. From Crystal Fieldhouse, CMU in Michigan, live for the MCHC tournament. Reagan, taking a look at your impact players and keys of the game. Before we do that, we want to give a disclaimer. We are experiencing some technical difficulties with the stream choppiness. We know that we don't have the best signal connection out here at Crystal Fieldhouse. We do have our own router. However, it's not responding as we'd like. So if you notice some video quality issues, reminder, the game will be uploaded to our YouTube channel in full 720 HD quality at the conclusion of this event. Have that being said, Reagan, let's look at your impact players to watch first for Central Michigan. Andrew Porzonik has come off 5 of his last 6 games with points. He was a big contributor with 2 assists last week. He's your first player to watch. Yeah,
Andrew Porzonik, this entire semester has really come into full form. What we're used to seeing the last couple of seasons with the senior forward. This is possibly his last game as a Chippewa. You want to see him come out and lead that offense. That top line was dynamite in that ISU series, and really it's what helped CMU to the victory in last Saturday. On the defensive end of things for CMU, I've got Brandon Clements. He got a goal which gave CMU the lead about halfway through that second period last Saturday, and it really kind of sparked the maroon and gold to gain momentum and really got in the heads of Michigan. That goal to remind you, came right after 2 consecutive power plays that CMU had to kill off. Michigan was frustrated, and that goal compounded the frustration. So Clemens had a big goal last week, and he also plays a really big factor on the defensive end of things. He's a lockdown defenseman, and he's got to do that tonight.
Now the sophomore from Clarkson, his first goal of the season in the regular season finale. On the other side of things, Michigan. Who are you looking at as ones to watch there?
Yeah, so I've got Tommy Shea, their leading goal scorer, 15 goals, 13 assists for the Michigan Wolverines. That leads the team in both categories and consequently in points as well. He was really not a ton of a factor in that series last weekend. Didn't get a ton of points, but he moves the puck well, and we saw that last weekend.
Yeah, certainly. On your other player to watch at the forward group, who are you looking at?
Yeah, Connor Chi, again, another high-octane player for this Michigan team. 11 goals, 10 assists this season. He got a goal about less than 5 minutes into the second game last weekend. That really sparked a fire in Michigan that let them play really well in that first period. What CMU has to do tonight is not let Michigan Flint get that advantage, not let Michigan in Flint get the advantage here tonight.
Connor Cheese, one of the best. He was one of the leading scorers, top 3 on this Michigan team, on way to their first national championship. Time now to look at your keys of the game, presented by Optimex Sports Reagan. Central's coming off their big regular season finale win. We know what this Michigan team is capable of. They're fighting for their lives. Both teams are, really. What has to happen for Central to get the upset again?
First thing tonight, do not get complacent. This is a Michigan team. Yes, you beat them fairly handily a week ago. You cannot come into this game thinking you're going to win. It's going to be a hard-fought battle all night, as it was in the previous 2 games. These games are always close between the Michigan Wolverines and the Central Michigan Chippewas. That is going to be the case tonight. What CMU has to do is bear that in mind. Second, maintain your discipline. You were in the penalty box 6 times, allowed Michigan 6 power plays last Saturday. You didn't get burned on any of them. That, as good as your penalty kill has been, you cannot rely on that PK to save you. Michigan is a very good hockey team. They know how to capitalize on the opportunities when given them. You got to stay out of the box tonight. And second, have fun. Stay relaxed. Yes, this is a high-stakes game, but you're as CMU, you're an unranked team. You're playing for pride. You're a long shot to get into the tournament. Have some fun, relax, and go out there and beat the Wolverines.
Nothing to lose and everything today. Everything to gain. It's high stakes, it's high hitting, it's playoff hockey. Coming up next here on CCHN. Round 1 between CMU and Michigan on CCHN.
Time now for your starting netminders, presented by SeamishIceHockey.com. For the Michigan Wolverines, they go to Aaron Locke, who got the win and the loss in last week's series. 13-7-1 on the year, 313 goals against average, and a .906 save percentage. For Central Michigan, they go back to Caleb Woolery, who received the loss 4-2 against Michigan last Friday. He's played a team-leading 15 games, has one shutout, and a team-leading .899 save percentage. Devin, it's playoff hockey. Here we go.
It is playoff hockey, Reagan. Michigan is sending out their defensive pairing, Samuel Alpern along with Dylan Shelton. The forward groups are Mark Berglund making a return to the lineup, along with Gavin Popeye and Tommy Shea. For Central Michigan, they'll go with the second line. That defense, Kyle Bowerson, along with Spencer Messina, the assistant captain. The forward groups will be Brendan Schultz, Connor Morgan, and Nathan Bottles. Michigan has only lost one playoff game in the last 2 years. They are the reigning national champions, but find themselves on the outside looking in. Meanwhile, Central has nothing to lose and everything to gain in this first playoff game from Crystal Fieldhouse. It's the MCHC tournament on CCHN. Central, first to the draw, gets that puck deep into the zone, and first touched by Michigan's Samuel Alpern, who had an assist last week in their 2-4 loss and had a goal along with that 4-2 win. Michigan moves up right wing, deep to the zone, off the end boards, and they'll play it out.
I like the effort here early by CMU. Spencer Messina made a good keep at the line, getting down on one knee. That's the effort you need from CMU all night.
And Central's trying to get back to work. They won 4-2 with an empty netter with 0.1 seconds left to seal it. A senior in that night was the hero on their senior night, Brendan Schultz. And Andrew Porzanic, one of our impact players to watch, had 2 assists. He's number 5. Here's Spencer Messina, one of those assistant captains out there with Andrew Porzanic, who was named the new captain of the Chippewas after Christopher Martin has spent some missing time. We won't see him again until next year. Jay Nadeau skirts in over the right wing line, gets pounded to the glass by William McGraw, and that'll set him up on the attacking zone. However, he got back to it. Good effort by the senior. Now this one.
We saw this physicality here in that series last weekend, Devin. I think it's really what CMU leaned on in their 4-2 win. They got to keep responding to the physicality tonight.
Yeah, you're right. And Central got better throughout that game, Reagan. That's something that they really had a tough time with in that first semester, particularly late with losses to Florida Gulf Coast and ranked Grand Valley State. But this one tonight in a rematch, tied 1-1 in this series, if you'll call it that, against Michigan. Meanwhile, Central getting back to the attacking zone. It's Owen Campbell. Left the puck there on a jump and chip and play in, and it was taken away by Mark Berglund. Now, centered inside the trapezoid area, and we're going to get some shoving, and no worse for wear will be the Chippewas who go off. Danny Sullivan getting into it with Owen Campbell.
That'll be an offside against CMU, so we'll bring the face-off back out to center ice. It's been CMU, Devin, actually keeping the puck in the Wolverine end to start this contest. You want to see them continue that throughout, keep that pressure up on the defending national champions.
Well, it's big for them. First periods have been this year. It's one of the trends that we talked about last week was after one period, they are 9-0-2 when leading, but when trailing, 0-9, 0-1 on the year. Only a tie against Lawrence Tech when they're trailing after one, so they've got to get to it early. Michigan, as we mentioned, one of the hottest teams when it comes playoff time, but ranked 20th in the country after the new rankings were released just this morning. I mean, how about that kind of shakeup? Dropped 7 spots, the most of any top 16 team.
Well, I think part of it is the losses at the hands of Oakland 2 weeks ago, Devin. Coming into that series against CMU, they had lost 2 straight, and I really think that played a part along with the unranked loss to CMU.
This Michigan team head coached by Callum Stripling in his 3rd season. He told me last week that he had some sort of fear against this Central team, and I asked him why. He said they are a fast, physical group and better than their record looks. This one taken by Jace Johnson to the net, trying to answer for that first goal, and it's off the shoulder blades of Aaron Locke.
And I really think, Devin, if this series is held in the first semester, this is a much different look. I think Michigan in the first semester comes out and sweeps CMU. CMU did not start the year very well, and they came into the second semester pretty well under 500 since then, though. They have been on fire, and I think that's really what helped in that win last weekend.
Yeah, so, Michigan only had 2 losses in all that first semester, Reagan, to number 5 Hope, 2-1 and 4-0 in that series, and then won and lost the game against Notre Dame. The rest, well, you beat Florida Gulf Coast number 3, you swept Indiana, you swept Adrian, Northwood. This Michigan team was rolling, and then all of a sudden they played Lawrence Tech at number 2 and took a 3-0 loss in that series. They won against 15 Saginaw Valley State, which kept them in the top 16. And then as recently as you mentioned, losses against Oakland, getting swept by the Golden Grizzlies, and then splitting with CMU have put them in this number 20 predicament.
Speaking of that Oakland team, Devin, they're taking on Northwood across at the other rink here at Crystal Fieldhouse. They lost and tied to them last week.
First round of this MCHC tournament. Devin, Sarah, Reagan Cleaves with you from Crystal Fieldhouse. This one's offside as Andrew Siraki was up right wing too far.
Yeah, it's good to see Andrew Siraki back in the lineup, Devin. We haven't seen him a ton this season, and as of late, when he's been in games, he has certainly made an impact.
Yeah, you're talking about Andrew Siraki, the sophomore out of Northville, has not seen too much action this year. Only 14 games played. He's been in and out of that 4th line, but when he's been out there, been contributing on the penalty kill. Most notably was a big goal scorer last year in that Adrian series, but as of late, in and out of the lineup, and Brendan Martin has not been afraid to shake up these lines and get some chemistry going. This one's offside for Michigan, so both teams will get a pair of face-off draws in their own ends. 16:60 to go, first period. We're still scoreless here on CCHN, and these two teams, a lot of history, tons of it. Even though Michigan has dominated this series all time with 15 wins, only 9 losses, Central has been able to muster some dramatic wins. Biggest one we can think of is that Brennan Martin 3-2 overtime victory 2 years ago.
Yeah.
This one's chip and gone to the zone by Brendan Schultz. Connor Morgan in after to chase it. He'll whistle it across where it's Sam Alper meeting up with him. This one's touched by a Wolverine up that far wall. Sent back in by Rapoon. Read all the way by Michigan's William McGraw. And he'll dump off and go off for changes.
Yeah, and Devin, you talk about the series history between these two teams. They don't meet often in playoff circumstances. They're usually separated by a couple of points within the standings. The last time they played them in the playoffs, it was a 5-3 Michigan win in the national pool play.
Number 4 against number 5 seeds. Michigan, the number 4, CME, number 5. This one's taken out of the blue line chance by Owen DeVries. Had himself 2 goals in their 4-2 win over the Chippewas last Friday. He sends it back in now. Over the center line. Michigan will get some more changes on. It's Brendan Clements coming off his first goal this season. Almost fumbled the puck. Sidestep a second man coming downhill with Sullivan. And now the Chippewas are out of that red line. The dump and ship go for Nadu. First to it will be Porzanik at that far half wall. Met up there swiftly. No settle for the cycle. From the point, taken by Josh Gilgren. Settling back in that defensive position where he's played most of his collegiate career. Dating back to Purdue Northwest. Porzanik cycles it up to him. Rims it around that boards. Wanted to touch it for Nadu. It streaked all the way to the near half wall where Rathmanner got to it. Along with Brandon Clements. They'll fight over that puck. Michigan is out of the zone now, up that far wing, and they've got numbers. Chip and chase, Owen DeVries leaves it down low for Sullivan, who centers it in front. Wind-up chance, and the first great start of this game for the freshman Caleb Woolery.
Yeah, he actually came out of his net to try and stop that puck as it wrapped around the boards. He had to get back into the net and make that save.
And you know, Reagan, besides that Sam Zavelson start on senior night, another great save. He has been the primordial starter in this last 6 games. 15 this played. The only Chippewa netminder with a winning record. 7-6-1 on the year. Has a shutout to his name. A 3.51 average, 8.99. But what's been most impressive is we had to figure he was going to start these playoff games because he started the second semester as Central's goaltender.
Yeah, he did. He played right out of the gate. He played 6 of the first 7 contests before Sam Zavelson got the start on senior night, but he played really well. He earned 4 straight wins from January 20th to February 2nd before suffering 2 straight losses, but I think those wins have given Caleb the confidence to come back and be that starting netminder for CMU in these playoffs.
Out of Forest Hills Northeastern, Woolery has been so calm, such a nice fellow to talk to as well. He's always a great source of information for us. with this Central team. He's in work right now as Michigan is hemming down on him. Hard check to the boards from Kyle Bowerson on a Wolverine in front there. Only the back plate's the name for it, so be a little patient with our numbers. That was Andrew Speaks getting roughed up. Now Central will dump at the length of the ice and go off for changes, and on come will their fourth line. Andrew Siraki out there, along with Luke Vasilovich. Tries to poke check Sam Alpern, who evades traffic over the red line. Lots of dump and chase going on, both teams in the filling out process. And the speedster, Kyle Robertson, this defenseman, takes it alone. Rimming around those boards and a lucky bounce gets into Locke's grasp, so he'll smother it.
Yeah, you talk about Kyle Robertson. He has the team lead for the most points in a game this season, Devin. 1 goal and 4 assists back in the game on the road against Adrian. And he has some speed. Doesn't often get to use it as a defenseman, but he shows it there and gets a shot off on Locke.
Yeah, 2-time high school champion in his conference and made it all the way to states, I believe, 1 year. The son of Keith and Kim Robertson. Celebrated him last week on senior night. One of 10 seniors on this Chippewa team against a very young Michigan squad that features only 5. Now Michigan once again will dump at the length of the ice from McGraw. This one tried to get intercepted by Greg Hurst. And the first Chippewa to it was Hutton. And over the line, they're offside.
And I'll tell you what, this Michigan forecheck, Devin, has really, since a pretty lackadaisical start to this game, they've really picked it up. They've been forcing CMU to make quick decisions in their own defensive end. They've forced CMU to make decisions that a lot of times for Michigan has worked out in their favor. They've been able to cause turnovers and create havoc.
Yeah, and you're right. Still scoreless in this game, but when Michigan scored 4 goals in their 4-2 win, they all were in the second period. And a lot of that was hurrying up the Chippewas. They dominated puck possession because they forced CMU to turn the puck over a lot. Lucas Hutton, the freshman out of Novi, tries to work it up that wall where Brendan Schultz tipped it ahead. Tried to anyway. Connor Place was first to it. And Place, the defenseman for Michigan, was named an MCHC Dream Team this year and first team MCHC East. Came off a second team appearance last year. So it's Hutton for Central, trying to defend against him. Hemming down on him, he'll circle his own behind the net. Out of the air, it's played.
And here's that Michigan forecheck again, forcing CMU a turnover at their own blue line, forcing them to regroup back in their own end.
And it forces Morgan to try and get back into the zone, Reagan, but he's all alone as Central trying to get quick changes out. They'll switch their pair of defensemen, get an extra forward out there with Porzonde. Brendan Clements, as this puck sails over the head of Gilgren. He'll wrap it around himself. Puts his head up to look for options. First to it is a Michigan man. In front, that's Nick Welch. And now Gilgren finds a soft spot in the ice over the red line. Just gets it off quickly now. And really, neither team is really able to establish puck possession time yet, Reagan.
No, it's been a lot of back and forth, and it was start and stop in the first couple of minutes, but really since then it's been a lot of free-flowing hockey. Stopped here and there a little bit, and we got a penalty coming up here.
It's going to be a slashing call coming up, I believe, on Michigan. As number 20, Danny Sullivan, was hemming down on a Chippewa. Rather, that's going to be number 11, Owen DeVries, going to the box. So, first penalty of this game for the Wolverines. We didn't give CMU a whole lot last week. Only 1 power play for Central in their 4-2 loss, but 4 chances on home ice, Reagan. This is a big opportunity here in the playoffs. Every single minute that you have a man advantage, you got to find a way to muster something.
Yeah, and that's been a bit of a struggle for CMU lately. Not really being able to get a ton of good opportunities on the power play. Only 2 goals in their last 7.
It has not been their forte, scoring. This Chippewa team has had a tough time finding offense all year. Kyle Robertson, that last shot was less than confident, saved by Locke. This one is. The first shot attempt earlier was out of his glove, then he had to scoop it, and that time he'll just rim it in his glove.
And I will say that's a really easy save for Locke. He sees it all the way, and for a Chippewa team who did a really good job of capitalizing on rebounds and traffic out in front last week, it you need to get traffic in front of Locke, make him a little bit uncomfortable, and force him to move around to be able to see the shots coming in.
Locke had some pad issues last week in that second game. It forced Henry Kolb, the only other netminder, was originally scratched to come into that game. And tonight, Locke is the starting goaltender, but Kolb is on the bench, ready as he may need be. Here's Michigan winding up an opportunity in front as Hurst was looking to wind up, rather Mohammed, and we'll get a stoppage.
Another penalty, this time coming up on CMU, so 2 penalties in quick succession. I think it's going to be either a slash or a trip on Kyle Robertson, the team leader in penalty minutes. It's going to be actually a check from behind.
So if you're number 11, a tough go of it for you. So that's going to force us back to 4-on-4 for a minute and 20. Give Michigan, if it remains, about 40 seconds of power play time. So 0 for 1. I'll put it on the stat sheet. We'll get a 4-on-4 draw across the way. Connor Morgan up against Kevin Popeye, and a good, confident win for Morgan. Up right wing, Messina. Big check. Leveled into the boards. Oh, my. What a hit that was. Laid out by Connor Chi.
Messina was off balance and gets stapled into the boards.
Connor Chi, heart of the net. Can't find it. Woolery doesn't. He gets thrown down from behind by Chi. Wow, what a physical start. Chi was our impact player for his goal-scoring ability. 11 goals, 10 assists on the year, but, oh my, getting active physically in this one.
Yeah, both teams really have turned up the physicality. It's a big hit on Messina at center ice. Chippewa fans, look out.
Turned over by Schultz. Michigan back to the attack in front. And that centering feed for Popeye. Couldn't find his man. Was looking for Chi. Back to button hook. It will be Nick Welch. How much does that change the momentum now of this game? As Michigan coming out as the physical establisher, if you will.
It's certainly a different look than we've seen to the CMU team the last couple of seasons. Usually they're the team that brings the physicality. Tonight they got to respond to it as Michigan comes out early and takes the momentum into their hands.
Mohammed drives right, centers it up. Clements read it all the way perfectly. He'll get out of harm's way with help coming from him. 40 seconds of power play time for Michigan now. For Kyle Robertson, check from behind, penalty. 9 minutes left in the first period. We're still scoreless. 20th ranked Wolverines need to win this one and one more. Only the first 2 games of this MCHC tournament will count towards the rankings. I repeat, only the first 2 games, because the MCHC does not count an auto bid towards nationals. So now, Will McGraw will hook out of his own end. He'll go D-to-D out there along the likes of Connor Play. Stopped on a dime, turned over by Nathan Bottles. The savvy senior puts one on net, and that one got a piece of lock. Played out of the air by Mohammed.
It's a great play by Nathan Bottles to force that turnover, but he doesn't have anybody with him and is forced to take a shot that goes high.
Right wing skated wide, trying to go to the point. McGraw first there to it. Winds one on net. Looking for the tip was Mohammed, and it got down on a knee with Skilgren. Now puts it in for McGraw, and it's too strong for him. Clement, stretch pass for Campbell under his wickets. He'll be one-on-one, trying to cut inside to the net hard. Locke got the save on that right paddle. And Campbell falls to the ice. Delayed penalty coming up on Michigan. So Clements sees that. He's going to wait for the extra skater to come on. He will. On comes Vasilevich, and here's Andrew Porzan. It goes with Bowerson to the center zone. Played off by Clements. Touched up by a Wolverine, and that will bring the penalty up for the Wolverines. And going to the box for them. Do not see yet.
So we'll see who it is. It looks like it's going to be DeVries again.
Oh, my. Yeah, this guy can't catch a break, can he?
He was the lone player back defending Owen Campbell, and he stepped in front of him, brought him down, and it's going to be a penalty on DeVries. We'll see what the penalty is. They're going to call a check to the head, and it might be 5 minutes here.
Oh, my. That would be dramatic.
Referees were discussing it. It looks like it's going to be a 5-minute penalty possibly. They don't have it up on the board yet, though.
We're going to wait for that as well. Power play coming up for the Chippewas. Back-to-back penalties on Owen DeVries. It is 5 minutes. Central is going to have all you can eat, Golden Corral style, for what is basically the remainder of this period. So they win the face-off draw. Back to Kyle Robertson. Looking to answer first in this MCHC Round 1 game. The first game of the night. Northwood and Oakland is underway across the way, as the other rink on this Crystal Fieldhouse barn is Northwood and Oakland, and an offside by Porzondik.
Yeah, it's a sloppy play by Owen Campbell. He lets the puck trail all the way around him. He doesn't stop it along the half wall. Instead, he waits, goes up to the point, and there's a miscommunication with the defenseman there. Campbell's forced to take that puck, and he's unable to keep it in.
Yeah, Campbell, my mistake. So Porzondik meets it up at the half wall. Leaves it for Clements, who tried to cycle it down low. A good play at the line made by Rathmanner. And he gets shouldered by Robertson, who comes back the other way through the legs of Connor Chi. Leaves it onside for Andrew Porzondik. They'll step this one ahead, rimmed around, and back to the center zone. Cleared out of the dead center by Clements and lost handle of that puck, so allows Michigan to dump it the length of the ice. They'll get their second penalty kill group out there. Both teams are 0 for 1, and we've had the last 5 minutes of this hockey game, the mid part of this first period, on the special teams. Morgan is the first Chippewa to it. It's sent back by McGraw.
One thing, Devin, that's difficult about these 5-minute power plays is it's difficult to maintain that momentum. You get the face-off draw, but Michigan has the luxury for the next 3 minutes and 48 seconds to just take it and dump it. You got to be on your toes like Messina is there.
Only 2 power play goals in our last 7 games. Messina cycles to the left side. Met up first time by Johnson. Now he's trying to find room to work. Morgan can't hold it in, so he has to go back and retreat now. Minute and a half killed off by Michigan. Central still has 3.5 minutes, though, to get going on this man advantage for the 5-minute check from behind penalty on Owen DeVries. But Johnson miscommunicated with Morgan. They're trying to get this unit going. You can just tell they're a little bit out of sync right now. Morgan now will step up that left wall. He'll get it deep behind the net. First played out by Connor Beamish. Wolverine was there along the wall, and they'll get it out of the zone again, and they've got numbers even. 2-on-1 develops for Michigan. Heart of the net, save with the right pad of Woolery. And the blocker came out to Bottles, who left it there for Johnson. Stays onside over the line, drives left, thinks about cutting inside, centers it up, and a great place on the ice by Alpern to get his body in front of that puck. 1-on-1, Campbell to skate back for it, up against the trailing defenseman Hutchinson. Now sidestep with Mohammed. Played off the legs of Robertson. Through it will go Hutchinson deep to central zone now. Man, this looks like it's still 5-on-5.
Yeah, Michigan's doing a really good job on this power play, penalty kill, playing very aggressive, still maintaining that forecheck that they kept with 5-on-5. And look at this. Great play by Mohammed to force CMU to move slowly out of their zone.
Porzondik with Campbell, the iconic duo trying to get it deep. And they can't find possession of it as Rathmanner stood up Porzondik. So 2 minutes left. Michigan has killed off 3 minutes with, I've only counted, 1 Chippewa shot on net. So Robertson and Clements.
It's been tough for CMU. What they got to do is, this dump and chase isn't working for them. They got to maintain possession in the offensive end and then cycle it. Get Michigan moving around. Settle the puck down. You still got 1:45 left.
Great paddle save by Locke that last time out. Floated out of the air. Michigan, the faster team, getting to the puck. Trying to skate wide. G sidesteps a hit, but Robertson did enough to knock him off the puck. So now they'll try to find it under themselves. Clements played up ahead with Robertson, down center lane. Now he'll go wide with it. 1:24 to go in their power play. Up to that far wall. Connor Beamish helps him out. Robertson tries to get it back to the point. It's blocked. Julian Johnson there first to it. Behind the net, it's Beamish looking to center it up for somebody. At the point, Connor Morgan will go wide with it. D to D. Up at that point, Johnson gets himself intercepted. And a good trailing play by Tommy Shea, Michigan's captain, gets it out of harm's way. 55 seconds left on this great kill for Michigan.
Now there's a lot of point traffic there for CMU. They're being forced to stay high in the zone, and they can't penetrate deep into the zone, and it's frustrating the CMU players.
Johnson tries to go hard to the net, forehand, backhand, and he got tripped over himself before he could get the shot off. Messina winds up from the point, and Locke saw it the whole way to smother things. And Johnson had himself an opportunity to make a move that he's done many times dating back to high school. Forehand, backhand to the net, and he never got the shot off.
And we've seen all of Jace Johnson's goals this season have been on that forward-backward, on that forehand to backhand move. It's worked a lot for him, but right now with 33 seconds left in this power play. He does do a good job after getting knocked down, getting back to the front of the net and causing traffic in front of Locke. Forces him to find that puck through traffic.
I'm not sure what the delay is for. We've got a conversation between head coach Callum Stripling and this officiating crew. They'll skate back to the zone now, and that'll give a draw to the right circle. With Beamish stepping in there against Danny Sullivan. Big face-off for the Chippewas. They win it back. Morgan can't handle that pass quickly from Bottles. They move it up that left half wall, and Morgan's had a tough start to this game. He's had a couple of times where he's lost that puck. Bottles gets back on side now with 20 seconds left to go in the man advantage. One-on-one to the corner against Welch. Is helped out there with Beamish. He'll regain possession for CMU with 13 left in the power play. Messina rides that blue line. Tries to look for room to leave it for Bottles. 5 seconds now. Beamish has to go up to the point there for Connor Morgan. You've got 4 forwards out here. Beamish hard of the net with the shot attempt. And Locke got the blocker on it. Out of the box is DeVries. Back to 5-on-5. What an excellent kill for this Michigan group who never really gave Central any sort of grade A scoring chance. So the Wolverines trying to capitalize on that. Mohammed now tries to skate to the center zone. Trailed the play was Messina. Great lead. One touch by Alpern. Back to Mohammed. Puts that one on net. Went wide. As Place meets with Bottles. Now Messina will get it off the glass through the legs of the official. And Johnson is going to be skating in after it, but cannot avoid the icing. So Central cannot change. 2:09 in the period.
Michigan, that penalty kill was an absolute clinic. They did not allow CMU to establish any sort of pressure, and immediately, right out of the box, right back to 5-on-5, they come down the ice and put some pressure on CMU. We saw this kind of last week when CMU killed off 2 straight and then scored in the second period to give them what then was a 2-1 lead, but right now Michigan is trying to flip the script.
That shot by Alpern up and over the net. Up that far wall, played by Jace Johnson, who gets this one again out of harm's way as the lone attacker to give his team time to change. Take it 1-on-4 against this Michigan group that finally finds some room to work. Central got them out of the pinch there. 4th line out there for CMU. Michigan skates wide with it over the line. It's Mark Berglund back to the lineup, and a glove save by Woolery will settle things down with 1:36 to go.
And this is the first time we've seen Berglund all series. He did not play last week, and he gets inserted back into the lineup in time for the playoff series. But with only 2 points this season, he's kind of an underrated player on this Michigan team. He gets an opportunity there with a good shot opportunity.
Yeah, only 2 points all of last year, those being assists. And on my score sheet, I can count 5 games played this year. 4. So Robertson is the lone man to retrieve it. Oh, turn the puck over. Reading that all the way was Berglund. He got stepped into by Robertson. Good hip check by the defenseman. Michigan holds the line. McGraw cycles it down low for Berglund. Goes across. Rathmanner puts one on net. The rebound chance couldn't be found by Berglund, so no putback came of it. A shot wide of the right post. Put one on net. Vasiljevic under the wickets now. For Jake Bishop leaves it in a pile of snow in front of his bench. Can't get that puck forwarded for Hutton, so they're going to change. Michigan will.
And that happens over the course of a period. Snow builds up, guys change. Snow builds up in front of the bench throughout the game, and we see it there. It interrupts CMU's breakout, and they turn it over again.
Nice play out of the air by Vasiljevic over the red line to avoid that icing. Michigan will dump this one. Cling it off the boards. Another putback try on Woolery for the chest protector smother.
And this one might catch a stick right out in front of Caleb Woolery as he holds on with 25 seconds left. But this Michigan forecheck, I mean, the last 2 minutes have looked like a Michigan power play, Devin. They've been cycling the puck really well. CMU's only been able to get the red line and dump it in and go off for a change because they're so tired. This Michigan team is really winning this first period right now.
Brendan Martin, head coach for CMU, has said all year we want to be very intentional with our forward groups. And right now they're playing on the defensive side. 12 seconds left in the period. Michigan tries to put one in front where Gilgren blocked it. Another one played out of the air. A second try, it's blocked. Chi. And now Michigan's out after Nadu whacked at it. 2 seconds. So that will do it for the period. Both teams, like they were last Friday, remain scoreless in this period. Michigan went on to score 4 goals in the second. Central try not to allow that to happen. I will have the first intermission report to get you updated on this other game across the way, Oakland and Northwood, and recap this one with some out-of-town scores. Don't go anywhere. It's the first round of the MCHC playoffs on CCHN. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the first intermission report presented by CMHIceHockey.com. Still scoreless after 20 minutes here in Burton, Michigan, as Central and Michigan trade multiple power play chances as Owen DeVries and Kyle Robertson, two number 11s, have had a tough time in this game, both taking penalties, but it was most recently Owen DeVries who took a 5-minute major check from behind penalty that led to Central having all you can eat for that time. And they can only muster 2 shots on goal against Michigan. The Wolverines with a triumphant penalty kill that saw them clear the puck out of the zone, get not only that, but some odd man rushes. And Caleb Woolery has had to come up big for the Chippewas more than once in this period. It's the reason why it remains scoreless in this one, but not without some good chances to the net by Owen Campbell. Jace Johnson almost had an end-board chance that would have skated in from the left wing in and cut behind the goaltender, but obviously did a good job there. So we remain scoreless, like you mentioned. Let's talk to you about some of the most recent rankings that came out during the, if I can get Reagan to stop shaking the camera. Thank you, Reagan. I know we're live on the air, man, but as you can see there. Let's talk to you about some of these ACHA rankings here. This morning they were updated with the top 25 standings. No raw data available, so we don't know where the Chippewas remain, but we know this. Grand Valley State, for the 7th straight week, remains number 1 in the country. Meanwhile, Lawrence Tech, the Blue Devils, at number 2. Their only losses in division play come against Saginaw Valley, number 15, last week, which sees Saginaw Valley jump from 16 to 14, give themselves some breathing room. And if you're not familiar with the format of the ACHA National Tournament, the top 16 teams make it into that tournament with some auto bids in there. But in order to get an auto bid, you have to win your conference playoff and be ranked in the top 25 before the final ranking period, which comes out this weekend. So this is the final time that all of these teams, including the MCHC foes, can get themselves in the ranking period. After this second round of this playoff, the standings are not going to count anymore. So this means everything for the team across the pond in Michigan, who fell 7 spots, the biggest dropper from 13 to 20 on the outside looking in. They'd either have to win this game and the next and win within the top 16, or find themselves in a do-or-die playoff to get into the tournament. Let's talk to you about some of our remaining rankings. Missouri jumped to number 3. How about them? The Matcha champions, they took down Kansas in a barn burner, 12-7 game featuring 7 first-period goals from the Tigers en route to their conference championship. They're going to nationals for sure. Hope College jumped Dartmouth from 5 to 4, where Dartmouth swapped at the 5 spot. Air Force at 6, Florida Gulf Coast. How about this? Dropping 4 spots. Second biggest loser in the rankings, 3 to 7. Colby College at number 8, Arkansas number 9, and Purdue at number 10. 11 sees Michigan State. The Spartans holding on right now after a tough series against Grand Valley State and Hope, where they lost to Hope, getting swept. Calvin College at number 12, Missouri State at 13, with some big wins over Arkansas to put themselves above the grain. Saginaw Valley State at 14, as we mentioned. 15 sees Sacred Heart, who's only lost 1 game this year out of the Metropolitan Collegiate Hockey Conference, but they've had 8 games this year where they've won by 5 goals or more, which is big within the rankings. Sees them at 15. And Oakland University across the way is scoreless with Northwood with 2 minutes left in the first period. The Golden Grizzlies took down Michigan, sweeping them before beating CMU, losing to Northwood and tying them. So Oakland is the bump team right now at 16. 17 is Central Maine Community College. 18, Colorado School of Mines. 19, Dordt College. And 20, this Michigan Wolverine team, followed up by Notre Dame, Kansas, Miami, Ohio, WIT, and St. Vincent. And as always, you can go to achhockey.org under the Division 3 tab to find the rest of those standings. As for these Vezina Cup playoffs, well, the format looks like this. Central and Michigan are the first game of the night, with Oakland and Northwood going on. Those 2 teams will be followed up by Lawrence Tech taking on Adrian, 1 versus 8, and Saginaw Valley taking on the home team per se, the host team, U of M Flint, at 8 p.m. Eastern. On the west side of the bracket, Michigan State is currently underway against Western Michigan right now, the 2 and the 1 seed, or Grand Valley State versus Western, 2 versus 7. Michigan State taking on the 6 seed in Davenport, and then the 4 and the 5 out of the west that's Ferris State, 4 and 5 out of the west. And then I guess I lost track of my west standings here. Oh, that's right. There is no game between the number 1 team, as Hope College got a bye for it only being a 7-team division. So Hope College gets the bye to the second round and a couple of games underway. But the big one is Michigan versus CMU with the Chippewas knotted at 0. Who's going to break the ice first in this playoff game? Well, we're going to find out coming up shortly in 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Scoreless with you from Crystal Fieldhouse. Devin Sarah with Reagan Cleave. Second period action underway. As for the second game out of 3, both these teams go scoreless for the first 20 minutes. Last time this happened, Michigan went on to score 4 straight goals from their home rink at the Arctic Edge of Canton to win 4-2 on that night, as basically Michigan went their way through that 20 minutes. The only goals they needed where basically CMU needed to have a triumphant come from behind. They scored 2 goals late in that game from only Owen Campbell, but it wasn't enough, as the following night they had to find a way to win on senior night. So we're back underway from second period as Michigan, with all the momentum carrying over, they had a 5-minute penalty kill where they only allowed the Chippewas 2 shots on goal. So that's where we sit, and they're trying to get room to work at the front of the net. It's Tommy Shea working in deep to the zone, to the slot area. It's cleared out by Messina. Good defensive play, but not out of the zone. Michigan pressuring all kinds of this Chippewa team, and they just look like the faster group right now, as it's Kyle Bowerson up this near side, trying to get it away. He won't. To the backhand goes Michigan's Gavin Popeye, and Woolery, once again, a good paddle save. Now from the point, Connor Place winds up. Off the pads, stopped by Woolery. Sailed across his bottles with speed now. Up out of the zone, carried by Connor Morgan, who gains free with his team time to change. Connor Place, and after him to the end boards, crunched in with McGraw. Porzanic met up with him. Nadu, point-blank shot, and that one stopped by Locke. Up that near side, the putback by Porzanic doesn't go, and Michigan's out.
Yeah,
Tommy Shea, whoa, Owen DeVries, look out, 11 against 11 there.
Yeah, this physicality again turning up in this game. It almost burned Michigan with 2 power plays for dangerous checks. They're able to get away with it in that first period, and they haven't looked back.
Oh my, Jay Nadeau, what a job by Porzonik to move it up the center ice zone, as that was Bottles who carried that play out and had an opportunity to get 1-0 on this board, but we stay scoreless. Campbell with a 2-on-1 develops with Robertson. Up left wing, takes the shot and Place blocked it. Kicked off the dasher boards. This one tries to get centered up in front. It'll stay wide with Danny Sullivan backhanding out of pressure. And Will Rapun goes back in. Played over the red line by Mohammed, who gets off, and his team will put new bodies out there. Connor Chi intercepts this out of the air. Look out, it's loose behind. They score. Whoa, shot from the half wall by Chi. Gets behind Woolery, and the secondary defender comes in to put it home. And the Wolverines are out to a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, that's a tough one for Caleb Woolery. We'll see if we can get a second look at it, but the initial shot came from the right wing circle, and here we go. It's taken by Chi. His shot goes up into Caleb Woolery. He loses sight of it, and it just popped home right out in front. No CMU defenseman is there to clean up the loose change, and Michigan grabs the 1-0 lead.
It's going to be Danny Sullivan scoring his first of the playoffs. Finished the year with just 5 goals on the season through 18 games this year. The forward, former AAA product out of the East Coast Militia, gets them started. Chippewa's trying to answer the other way. 2-on-1. Chase Johnson to the net. In front. Where it was just put wide by Beamish. I thought for a moment Locke got his paddle across. I was going to congratulate him, but I think Beamish put it wide. So Michigan gets out of harm's way, and 2 golden opportunities, can't finish.
Yeah, that's a tough one, and Powerson out in front, or pardon me, Beamish out in front, isn't able to get full contact on that shot. He kind of flubs it, and it goes off of his stick and just flutters inches wide of the right post there, Devin. It almost looked like it was going to be deja vu from last Friday. Michigan scores early in the period. CMU comes back the other way, but this time CMU is unable to capitalize.
And Central allowed the first goal on senior night last week, and they were able to come back in that one. So 1 goal isn't too big of a deficit, but you start getting 2 and 3. Well, there's a spell for trouble. This one is going to be called for an icing. So they have to go all the way back to their own zone. Central will. And how uncharacteristic is that for Woolery to kind of just get shell-shocked? I think he was ready for that shot initially, Reagan, and something went wrong in his crease where, I mean, he was in all kinds of panic.
Yeah, I think it was just, it was a shot that came up on him. He didn't get all of it. He had to raise up his right shoulder to even get a piece of that shot. I think it fluttered up and over him before it trickled behind him, and then it was just loose in the slot. He had no idea where it was.
Woolery's been so good this season. Got a shutout against Illinois State earlier this year, but a tough go of it right there as Connor Chi and Danny Sullivan combine to put the Wolverines in the lead. Luke Vasilovich meets this puck at the half wall, centers it up where it's fanned on by Austin Ritter. Messina to get the putback, leaves it across for Porzonik, puts one on net, into the air and a lock. Had a chance for it with Jake Bishop hounding down on that and couldn't find it free. Alone moving in for it is Luke Anderson. He's spelled up by the other opposing 24, Messina. And it's Kyle Bowerson trying to rim his own boards. Falls to one knee, and Anderson pickpockets him. Up at the point, McGraw holds it in. And now Bowerson will turn heel and try to get this out of harm's way. Bishop gets 2-on-1. He's going to have to retreat. Intercepts this puck at the slot area, and a shot that I think got blocked by Poppy goes up into the rafters.
Yeah, it's a great play by CMU. It was about to be a bad look. You turn that puck over, you flub the clearing attempt, but it's a great opportunity to come back out in front as we get a second look at this. The puck comes free into the corner, and it's an errant pass up the middle that's intercepted, and your defenseman, I think that's Messina, comes in and blocks that shot up and out of play.
It's a tough turnover. They've had a lot of them early in this game, but it's only a 1-0 advantage for Michigan right now. It's Kyle Robertson, who's been all over the ice in this game. Connor Place, the other defenseman, puts that one back where Woolery behind his net plays it out of the net. Lucas Hutton now. Had that one played out by Tommy Shea, who tries to cut inside of the net. It's loose up for grabs in the slot. First, second save by Woolery, and Michigan puts it home. Tommy Shea stays with the play, and he got it all started from the end boards. Michigan up to a 2-0 advantage.
And that just starts with the inability of the Chippewas to clear the puck in front. Caleb Woolery makes 2 point-blank saves at the right side of the net. As we get a second look at it, Shea moves it behind the net. Woolery stops him on the right side. Another shot by Berglund in front, and Shea scoops up the rebound. There's 3 Chippewas right in front of the net there. You got to be able to clear that puck if you got that many men in front. CMU's unable to do it, and they're down 2-0.
They make them caught flat-footed twice as Chi had that wonky goal from the half wall put back by Sullivan, and that rebound comes free for Shea. So Michigan with all kinds of pressure in CMU's face, and here's Owen Campbell. Good play to intercept that puck, but couldn't get around McGraw, who stayed with him the whole way. With 14:24 to go in the second.
McGraw's been good throughout this series, Devin. He had an assist on the opening goal way back last Friday en route to that 4-2 Michigan win, but he makes a good defensive play there to not Owen Campbell off the puck.
Out of Westerly, Massachusetts. Had only 4 assists last year. Finished the year with 6. He's been a very steady presence for Michigan. One of the few seniors on this team. Out of the air. It's loose behind Locke. He had no clue where that puck was. It bounced off the cage, and Central keeps the pressure on. Messina winds up, and he turned a shot wide. And now at that far side, Sullivan will get it out of the zone with Mohammed. What a bouncing puck that everybody in this building thought was going to flutter out of the air and go off the back of Locke.
Yeah, and it was inches from going in, Devin. It bounces twice off the top of the net before rolling at the side of the net. Great save by Woolery.
This game could have just easily been 3-0. Michigan, in the transition, puts one into Caleb Woolery, and off the bench goes Danny Sullivan, who broke that play up and then coming back the other way. And a miraculous stop. 13:28 to go. Central's feeling the heat right now. It's all Michigan right now to start this second period. Goals from Sullivan and most recently Tommy Shea. And it's do or die for this Wolverine team. Number 20 in the nation. Here's Isaac Hopp. Plays it over the line with Jace Johnson, who's speedster. He can cut inside. Takes one on net. Rims that wide of the right cage.
Yeah, Locke's a hair off his angle. That's great vision by Johnson to see that. But he was just a little bit wide of the net and can't put it home.
Rappoon pummels one up this half wall. Frees it up for Connor Beamish. Gains the red line. Dumps it on Locke. Rebound comes, and a poke check played on Will Rathmanner by Beamish. Has his stick tied up. Gets this puck back now. Looking for room to get it free. And Rathmanner's going to stay all over him. Back to Rappoon. Puts it on net. Puck's up for grabs. And Johnson couldn't put it home. But a penalty is coming up for holding on the Wolverines.
I think it's going to be a hooking on Rathmanner behind the net. It's a hold, rather. He gets caught up at the side of the net, and he's going to go off. And that puts CMU on their 3rd power play of the night. They're 0 for 2, one of which was a 5-minute major that they really were not able to get anything going on, Devin.
This Central team has struggled in this game. They had 2 shots on their 5-minute power play halfway through that first period. And you hear the fire up Chips chants to our fans to our left. The Chippewa faithful traveled well for this game. But this Central team has got to find something on this man advantage, as they have done not so well. They're without a power play goal in their last 3 contests. They had a shorthanded goal last week from Connor Morgan, but that's it. So 2 minutes on the board at 12:28 to go in this second period. Down 2-0. Kyle Robertson from behind his own net. Trails it up right wing for Brandon Clements. Goes to the forward groups with Porzonik, top power play unit. Back to Robertson. Puts one on net. It's blocked in front off Dylan Shelton. The putback attempted by Jay Nadeau never gets to his blade, and they're up and out.
Yeah, and the key for CMU on this power play, Devin, is to game the zone and set up the power play unit. Set up the cycle. Settle the puck down. You can't be chasing the puck up and down the ice like you were for that entire 5-minute man advantage.
And chasing has been the story for them in this game. Now Clements. Porzanic gets to it. D to D, they'll go back. Clements puts one where Jay Nadeau trailed from the left side, and he lost handle of it. Mohammed with the easy clear. 1 minute over, and Central's third power play opportunity of the night when they're 0 for 2. Woolery nearly turned this puck over on the cherry-picking Shea. Goes off to the bench now. So Robertson sails this one across, attempted for Jace Johnson, and that one was read all the way by DeVries. 45 seconds now.
And again, what this Michigan PK has done really well is shut CMU down through the neutral zone. They haven't allowed CMU to get past really the red line with really good control of the puck at all on all of their 3 penalty kills.
And last week it was all Central killing off those penalties, just like Michigan has in dominant fashion. They killed off 6 in that 4-2 win on senior night. And they're struggling mightily here. Robertson now gets played out to the blue line, holds possession of it, turns a shot easily wide, and Owen DeVries might have a breakout with numbers. Connor Cheese up with him. Bottles keeps pace with it, however, to poke check him away. Short-handed, Chi finds a way to get to the net, and it's sticked away wide by Woolery. 2 seconds left until Rathmanner's out of the box. 2-on-1 for the Chippewas. Johnson up in front, loose, it's up for grabs, and Vasilevich couldn't get a shot off. Now Michigan 3-on-1 the other way. Connor Chi with Rathmanner, goes to the net, back to Rathmanner, and Chi, they score! That one was defended well in front by Messina, but the deflection got back to Chi's blade, and he puts it home. 3-0 Michigan.
Yeah, this period, and really this game has been all Michigan, and they've really opened up the floodgates in this one. CMU gets a great chance going the other way. Vasilevich is unable to control it, and then it's a 3-on-1. Chi's initial shot is blocked by Messina in front, and with Caleb Woolery sliding to his right, as you see there, Chi has an easy tap in on the back door.
Chi's first of the playoffs. He was the only goal scorer on their loss to Central last week, and now they've taken control of this game. Killed off that crucial penalty, didn't allow a lot of shots in the meantime, and Central is still trying to find a way to catch up to this Wolverine team that came out with an emphasis. 3 goals, like they did again their 4-2 win at home last week. This one's backhanded in the slot area by Berglund to nobody in particular. We got a big whistle.
We got a hand pass called on CMU, and Devin, this just seems like a very different game than last Friday. Last Friday, CMU was able to get themselves back into the contest just 20 seconds after Michigan scored the opening tally. Tonight, they've been unable to capitalize on the chances that they've had after Michigan scores, and just like that, we see 3 goals in the first 10 minutes of this second period.
And Brennan Martin's groups, he kept the forward groups very consistent for the last 4 weeks. All but the 4th line have really stayed the same. And at defense, they went with an extra skater in Hutton tonight. So they've really haven't changed this lineup at all. But like you said, Michigan has just been the better killer team in this period. And they're up 3-0, all from separate goal scorers. So Central, out of their own zone, tries to find this puck. They can't do it. Owen DeVries up that left wing, puts it to the slot area for a dangerous puck. And Owen Porzanic gets this one out of harm's way now. As Owen Campbell with him, those two will try to fight for it. Campbell puts one on net off the end board. Porzanic was not ready for the return feed. Michigan with speed the other way. Connor Place now tries to move up the wing. He'll put one up the wing where it's Porzanic. Now Clements out of the air. Video feed is off. We're going to try and get that back up for you here in a moment as Rathmanner touches this puck up for the offside. We'll try and get those technical difficulties solved for you, but it is 3-0 Michigan with 9:03 left to go in this second period. Most recent goal scorer, Connor Chi. We put this team up 3-0 in this game. We got our video feed back now. We apologize for that interruption. Michigan plays it back to the attacking zone where it's Jay Nadeau having to play this puck out. Central really cannot establish any kind of possession right now. The ice is very much tilted in Michigan's favor. Jace Johnson trying to do something about that. Tries to cut inside, and Andrew Speaks says no.
And To your point, Devin, CMU really hasn't been able to establish any possession throughout this entire game. It's been all Michigan, even on that 5-minute power play where you'd think that CMU would be able to get some momentum going in their favor. Michigan dominated that penalty kill, and that's really where the momentum swung in this game.
Hurst will play it ahead. He gets to it with fresh lines. Woolery out of his net to play it. Clements hemmed behind the webbed netting as Hop tries to touch this up the half wall. It's kept in by Alpern. He will cycle it down low from McGraw. Tried to take a shot on net. That got blocked off the skate of Clements. Beamish in after it with Hop. Nifty move to get onside with Johnson. The two youngster freshmen give their team time to change. Hop goes wide with it. Gets pressed to the boards by Alpern. He'll take that puck away where he skates wide of traffic and gets out of harm's way. 3-on-2 could develop for Michigan, and it does. Greg Hurst now evades traffic, not without Rappoon getting a great poke check. Johnson with Rappoon ahead. Tries to stay onside. Rappoon does. Good job there. Centers one up to the net. Locke with a save. He's going to not allow any rebounds.
Yeah, and if Jace Johnson may get a rebound out of that shot if he shoots it lower. These Chippewas have really taken a lot of shots upstairs on Locke, allowing him to, A, see the puck and corral it fairly easily because you've got your glove, you've got your blocker. It's a lot easier to control shots that come in up high on you, and CMU is giving it right to him.
I mean, from your analysis, how comfortable does Locke look right now in net where he hasn't really been tested too much?
Looks really comfortable. I mean, usually you see netminders who haven't seen a ton of shots get a little bit lackadaisical, but Locke is looking really comfortable like he has all night and really all series.
Oh, here's a good offensive pressure by the Chippewas. Kept in by Schultz, not without Michigan's, I believe, play sending it back. The lone man in there is Tommy Shea for them. Helped out along the boards by Berglund. Porzana gets to it, can't get it out. Rathmanner held the line. Rappoon on a great shift, once, twice, and 3 times now, gets this puck out of pressure as Morgan is just trying to find his footing. And even Central, that most minute ago, Reagan, they had 2 bodies in front of the crease area on Locke, and it never felt like they were going to get that puck on.
And I really think it's partly because CMU right now is in a shot-first mentality when they come into the zone. I don't think I've seen a player pass the puck for CMU in on a rush, on an odd man rush. You got to pass this puck. You got to utilize your teammates. You're not going to pull yourself back into this game if you don't.
Bishop tries to find room to work with it. Here's Vasilovich. Big hit laid out by Robertson on McGraw. Bodies flying everywhere behind the net. Officials let it play on as first to his feet is Welch to get this puck into the air. Played out by Messina right at the timeline. Bishop takes a whack for it. Rathmanner to clear it away. Back and forth, both these teams change, and Vasilovich sidestepped his man, has room to work wide, defended well by Welch. The opposing 17 gets in after it. Andrew Siraki up for Messina.
I will say one thing that this Michigan defense is doing very well is forcing CMU to the outside. They're not allowing them to get to the slot.
Michigan the other way, whistled wide by Danny Sullivan, looking for his second. Siraki on the central change, out of the air, nifty move to get in front of there, and Place took him down. No call and lost his stick. Porzanic tried to return feed in, but he didn't have his stick in his hand. It rims around those end boards. Beatty up against the wall there, played out by Connor Chi. This ice, chaotic sequences, bodies flying 2-on-1 for Michigan with Chi. Up there with Speaks. Chi skates wide, hard to the net, shot, rebound, score! Andrew Speaks puts it home, and Woolery again can't collect the rebound. 4-0, the Wolverines.
And this one is a tough shot. It's a tough shot for Woolery. He's on the right side of the post. He comes out in front, but again, it's the inability of the Central Michigan defense to clear the front of the net. It Speaks standing right there. He's able to tap it home, and I think CMU is going to take a timeout here, and indeed they will. But it's a good shot by Chi to get to the front of the net, and then Speaks is right on the back door with Messina there with them, and Messina's unable to tie him up, and it's in the back of the net.
Yeah, and that all started, I think, because Central was getting aggressive on the forecheck. They had 3 forwards hem deep in the zone with Siraki and Porzanic, and they end up letting up a 2-on-1 the other way where all Speaks has to do is stay with the puck on the rebound And Woolery's had a tough go of it here in the last couple of minutes, just like they did last week, Reagan. I know you said this game feels very different than it did in Central's 4-2 loss in Canton, but the score reads the same. It's 4-0 Michigan right now, all in the second like they did in that game.
Yeah, the difference is that CMU doesn't have a goal in response. On last Friday, they were able to get some momentum and stem Michigan from getting full swing of the momentum with the goal by Owen Campbell just 20 seconds after Michigan scored to open up the contest. Tonight, they've gotten chances. They just haven't been able to capitalize. They've been in a shoot-first mentality, and it shows. They aren't passing. They aren't skating with their head up. They're looking for the shot. And as you would expect, Michigan's been able to capitalize instead.
And they have capitalized. 4 goals, all from 4 different goal scorers. The likes of Danny Sullivan, Tommy Shea, their captain, Connor Chi, and Andrew Speaks. And 2 points on the night already for Connor Chi, and maybe more, as that sophomore out of Pennsylvania, one of your players to watch for good reason, has helped this team get to a large amount that looks right now at the moment insurmountable compared to just how much Michigan has controlled the pace, even when Central's had more of the power play chances.
Exactly. CMU's had 3 power play chances. They haven't been able to do anything, and I really think this game, the microcosm of this game is that power play for CMU. The 5-minute major when DeVries went off for a check to the head for a 5-minute major. Michigan, despite being down a man, was able to control the pace of that PK as this puck goes up and out of play. And really, that's where, if you're CMU, you got to look at that and go, oh boy, it's going to be a long night. We can't do anything on a 5-minute major power play. And it's been the case.
And, they haven't looked really this sloppy all this second semester. They had that loss in there to Northwood 3-1, but that was a gritty Northwood team on their senior night that really just looked like they wanted it more there at the end. And, Central took those 2 penalties late in that game, and Northwood had 2 power play goals, but this has all been 5-on-5s. That one's smothered by Woolery. And you look at just how the defensemen have had to hem back to their zone and defend all these 2-on-1s. It's not without effort by Central. It's not without that aggressive forecheck. But Michigan's just the better team.
Yeah, Michigan really has been the better team. And for them, hey, you're going to look at this game. Yeah, you lost 4-2 the other night to CMU. But in order for your national championship repeat hopes to remain alive, if you're the Wolverines, you have to win the next 2 games. And right now, they've had a really good start to this playoffs.
Michigan has been one of the best playoff teams in recent memory. Last year, they went into the national tournament ranked 3rd, but they've never really been a sparky regular season team. They're very streaky. They went into that tournament last year with a loss in the Vesna Cup final to Hope College, and they never looked back. Went en route to their first national tournament with a very young team. Many of those players remained on this squad, and only a few seniors to their name. For this Michigan team, they've got to win, and they've got to win big. They're ranked number 20 in the nation right now in the most recent ranking poll. And like I said in the intermission report, only this game and the next tomorrow, for whoever team it is that goes on, will count for the rankings.
Yeah, it will, and that's the big thing. The MCHC, one of the conferences that doesn't have as far as we know, have an auto bid. So you're stuck playing the first 2 rounds of the playoffs like it matters for the national tournament. And once you get to the second round, the semis and the finals come next week in Patterson Ice Center. It's gonna be for the Vezina Cup. That's all it's for, and that makes it honestly a little bit more fun because you're playing for the title of the best conference in the nation.
And as Reagan mentioned, those semifinals will be from Patterson Ice Center in Grand Rapids. Reagan and you and I will be producing that, part of the MCHC.TV coverage. Reagan and I will be on the call for the Vezina Cup final. You can catch that on MCHC.TV on YouTube. Both games will be live streamed, but not uploaded until, after the national tournament. So you'll catch those live. But right now, this one's still going on. It's 4-0, and a delayed penalty on CMU is coming up to make matters worse.
And it's going to be a hooking penalty, and I think it was Will Rapoon battling in the corner. Takes down his man. It's pretty cut and dry. Not much you can argue with that about that. But at this point, CMU, that does not help you. You're already down by 4. It's a pretty cut and dry penalty, and now penalty box door is back open with Will Rapun in there, and they're going to add somebody in. So
going to put Hop in the box as well.
I think it's going to be an extra minor on Rapun, or it's a 10-minute.
A tough play for the sophomore defenseman, transferred from Division II this year. Had his first goal in the ACHA, the only one in that 3-1 loss to Northwood. And so now 5-on-4 for the Wolverines. Their second power play of the night. They're 0 for 1. Save off the chest of Woolery. Played out from the half wall and dumped the length of the ice. Off the back of the net will be played out by Locke behind his trapezoid. It'll be Sam Horner to lead this forecheck group. Horzonic comes down him up the wall. Trying to move with an emphasis into the attacking zone. Comes Justin Hutchinson. Leaves it there for Horner. Gets poke checked by Messina in that near corner. A fight for it ensues. It rims up the end for Dashers anyway. Up to Mohammed. Played in at the line. Evading pressure from Nadu coming downhill. And holding in was Hutchinson. Michigan only one shot on net in a breakaway attempt for Jay Nadu. Shorthanded. Nadu to the net! Saved by Locke. What a stop with the right pad.
I think credit to Locke for cutting down the angle, but I think Nadu fumbles this on the backhand, Devin. He goes to the backhand, the puck rolls on him, and he's unable to get a good handle on it to tuck it on the back door.
42 seconds left in Michigan's power play. 2:05 in the period. Up at the point. Played by Mohammed. The one-timer got missed on by Visay, and it's down the length of the ice. And Michigan frustrated. Double slams by Chi and Horner, who knew they had a golden opportunity there. 24 seconds left. Back in the zone they come with Speaks. Hard to the net. Diving play, Bobby Orr style. Lost his stick, and no shot came of it. Now Locke's going to settle things down. Let Michigan reset with 10 seconds left in their second power play of the night. Tommy Shea, the captain, with 1 goal tonight. Trying to sidestep Brendan Schultz. He will. Michigan has to retreat. Out of the box will come Isaac Hop. Rapun has to stay in there, however, for an extra penalty. We're back to 5-on-5 anyway. Owen DeVries now leaves it on the trailer for Nick Welch. Skates wide of a glove down on the ice right now. Not sure whose that is.
I think it's Robertson's. He skated off the ice without a glove.
2-on-1 for CMU the other way. Connor Morgan Schultz. They need this. Morgan shot on net. Saved by Locke. Played off the glass. In the near corner. A fight for it. And Michigan, the assistant captain, gets it out of harm's way where it's Andrew Speaks out of Bloomfield Hills. Up left wing all alone. Defended by Messina. Central. Badly. Could not score on Jay Nadu's breakaway. Had the 2-on-1 there with Morgan and Schultz, and they can't answer. It's still 4-0 Michigan. And 38 seconds left in the period. The stretch pass, fanned on by Hurst. He'll wrap it around and redeem himself of it. Bowerson there, first to it up that far wall. All kinds of pressure coming. Connor Place up this half wall. Stops, leaves it at the point. Gets it back up to Mohammed. Streaks it across the way from McGraw. Now back up to the point. Takes one on net, and that one's blocked off Hop. 12 seconds left. Loose to the crease area and dumped down length of the ice by Bowerson. Put it on Locke, so it does not allow an icing. 5 seconds left. Michigan's going to hold this puck. And the Wolverines, like they did last Friday, are going to get out of this period with 4 consecutive goals from 4 different goal scorers and take control of this MCHC playoff game. We'll go to the break. Reagan Cleves will recap it for you and update you on a score across the way between Northwood and Oakland. First round of the playoffs, third period coming up on CCHN.
welcome back to Crystal Field. That's for the second intermission report. Michigan riding a 4-goal second period. We'll head into the third period in the final 20 minutes of this one, up 4-0. Things started early. 2:35 in. Schessel popped home a rebound from Chi, and the Wolverines were off and running. At 5:11, Shea from Poppy and Berglund made it 2-0. And then Connor Chi, who has had a great night, 3 points this weekend. 3 points in this game alone, assisted on the Schessel goal to start things off and scored the third goal of the game. It was a really good play, moved out in front. It was a shot that Woolery had. It was laid behind him, and it was able to be popped in. That was Cheese, his second point of the night. And then the most recent goal, again, nothing much CMU can do. It's a 3-on-1 the other way after CMU gets a rush toward their goal, and back the other way. It's a 3-on-1. Chi carries it up the right wing. His shot, or his pass across, is blocked, and he's able to pop it home on the back door. It's really been a story of lack of rebound control by Caleb Woolery, though he has made a couple of key saves in this one, but it more so than him being able to control the rebound, CMU just has not been able to clear the front of the net whatsoever. I think 3 of the 4 goals from Michigan have been all cleaning up rebounds in front, popping into wide open cages. It's been really difficult for CMU to clear the front of the net, and Michigan is making them pay with 4 goals in that second period. It's been a tough one. Score update on the other side of the bracket. Northwood and Oakland again deadlocked at 0 as we go throughout that game. Last check, they were getting toward the tail end of that second period, but boy, has that been a fun series. Northwood upset Oakland in the second night of their series after tying them night 1 last Friday. They ended up getting the win in that one, and they're looking for yet another upset, and that surely would have to knock the Oakland Golden Grizzlies out of the playoff picture if they were to get the win. But Northwood has to finish it, and right now CMU has got 20 minutes. Can they make it interesting? We'll see. We'll step aside, but when we come back, third period, Devin Sarah has the play-by-play for you when we return. CMU down 4-0, trying to keep their season alive in the next 20 minutes.
From Crystal Fieldhouse, it's the MCHC playoffs round 1. Michigan leads 4-0 over the Chippewas after Central allows 4 goals, all on even strength from 4 different goal scorers. Bradley Schessel had the first one to open things up, followed up by the captain Tommy Shea. Connor Chi and Andrew Speaks is where we remain, and Reagan Cleaves joins the fold with me. He talked about in that intermission report Central having a tough time in elimination games in playoffs. Hope College in 22 losing 6-1, 5-1 against Oakland, and they're down by a lot here with only 20 left in this one.
And that comes, both of those recent losses have really come after some of the biggest wins in club history. Think about that double overtime win back in the end of the 22 season against Lawrence Tech that got you into that MCHC semifinal against Hope. And since that, the last time CMU has come back in the third period of a game is that double overtime win. Since then, playoffs have been really hard for CMU. They've, as you said, 2 4-goal losses in their last 2 appearances.
The trends, I would not want to mention them because 4 goals is not a deficit Central does very well with. But Michigan has come to play in a rebound effort after they had a tough go of it on Central's senior night. And the first time that Central finished under 500 in the regular season since 2018-19. Every single year but that, they've basically had a winning record and gone to nationals. It doesn't look like it's in sight this year as they were unranked in the most recent top 25. Michigan at number 20, fighting for their lives. Here's Connor Morgan trying to answer alone, and he got 2-on-1 defended against McGraw.
I mean, Connor Morgan, credit to him, he has done really well this second semester, Devin. He's really come into his own. He had a lot of goals throughout he had the shorty last weekend, and I really think Connor Morgan is a player to watch not only in the rest of this game, but also in the years to come.
And with 10 graduating Chippewas, this team's going to have a different look next year. The recruiting cycle has already been in phase. Brennan Martin has done a diligent job in his first 2 years as head coach to really try and muster together some continuity within the CMU hockey program. A lot of Division II transfers, some of the likes of Kyle Robertson, Brendan Schultz, assistant captain Spencer Messina, and in Morgan's case, a sophomore out of Waterford, Michigan, as Wolverines come back into the attacking zone. But he had a pretty solid year, 9 goals so far throughout this campaign, 4 assists. I have a feeling he's going to have more as his Chippewa career goes on. It's going to be interesting for this team and more to really rebound from what was a tough year for them compared to others.
And it certainly has been a tough year, Devin, as we mentioned, but really I think this second semester was something as a Chippewa fan you can hold your head up about. 5 straight wins, and you finish you go the second semester undefeated at home. That's really hard to do in the MCHC, especially when you play 2 top 20 teams like Oakland and Michigan.
Yeah, and you see those wins over Oakland and Michigan, and they had one against Notre Dame earlier this year that was a good one on home ice. They defended their territory, which is what every team's goal is in any real season, regardless of winning record or not. And here's Central. Some of those youngsters try to spring an odd man rush, and it's well defended by Michigan's Justin Hutchinson. So the young core starting to build with this group. Lucas Hutton out of Novi, one of those that comes to mind. Came in the second semester and did a really solid job back there on that blue line, albeit hasn't played as much as he's wanted to, but the future is bright in Mount Pleasant. And regardless of what happens the next 16.5 minutes, they can hold their head high about some real good wins down the stretch. Here's Brandon Clements, however, trying to answer something about it. He's had a good last 3 games. Over the blue line, dumps it ahead where he gets his team time to change. Up attacking near side comes Dylan Shelton over the wing out of Ohio. Cal Stripling, head coach for Michigan, joked to me that Shelton's good for about 1 goal a year. Always humorous. Reigning head coach of the year. Was not named to it this year. Chris Van Timmerman for Hope College. Named MCHC coach of the year. And his team got the number 1 seed as they jumped Grand Valley State with their loss to Ferris State.
I mean, I don't want to criticize the conference choice in coach of the year, but Grand Valley State, Hope, this is their worst year in 3 years. This is their worst year since they won the national tournament in 2018.
So you think Dylan Knox was snubbed? Head coach for Grand
I do
Valley.
think Dylan Knox was snubbed, and I mean, no discredit to Chris Van Timmerman. He's a very, very good coach, as attested to by the national titles that Hope has and the fact that they haven't missed a title game in 3 years. But I really don't think that. I really think Dylan Knox did better to turn around to continue to build the Grand Valley program, and I think coached a better season.
So Dylan Knox's group, as you mentioned, only 2 losses on the year to Hope College and Ferris State. That's quite a wide variety. They're going to have the number 1 spot in the rankings as that shot saved by Woolery going into this conference playoff. And if they hold, they'd go into nationals holding the number 1 spot for all but the entire year. And even though Chris Van Timmerman and Hope is a 3-time national champion, reigning Vezina Cup champion squad, they look vulnerable this year.
But I mean, again, they're in a division that is pretty hard to come out of if you don't beat Hope. You have to beat Hope to get out of the MCHC West.
It's like Alabama in football.
Yeah.
They are still the standard of Division III hockey by most. Still, look, them and this Michigan squad have been to back-to-back national champions.
Yeah, and I mean,
championship games.
Yeah, this is like the last 2 seasons have been Michigan and Hope, and before that, Michigan made it to the semifinal. I think they bowed out to Arkansas in that one, but this Michigan and Hope, these 2 teams really have dominated men's Division III.
And Michigan is dominating this one, up 4-0 late in this game. As from his knees, trying to play it was Gavin Popeye, one of the few freshmen on this Michigan team out of North Oakland Eagles, Oxford High School. And Poppy this year finished pretty well. 10 goals, 4 assists through 21 games. And we get 1 whistle for icing, so Central has to go back their own way. And the way this one gone, certainly not how they've wanted, but they've got a freshman netminder in Caleb Woolery, who, Reagan, you're going to be with this team still.
Yep.
Going to your senior year. What excites you most about a young goalie in Caleb Woolery?
I mean, I really think that while it has been, Caleb Woolery has gotten most of the starts ahead of Sam Zavelson, Caleb Woolery has played very well this second semester. Despite those 2 losses to end the year on the road, he has been one of the best goalies as he makes the save there. He has the longest winning streak of a Chippewa netminder this season with 5 games.
And he made a couple of them there as he had Owen DeVries bearing down on him.
I mean, and this is only his freshman season, and he's already got around about a 90% save percentage, 351 goals against average, which is respectable, especially for a team that's been 500 like the Central Michigan team has. So I think the netminding job is in good hands for CMU for the next couple of years, and you also got Lauren Jones and Nick Wilson staying around for next year. They'll most likely back up Caleb. So.
Yep. And Zavelson, the only goalie leaving this year. Lauren Jones, an older netminder per ACHA standards, but only a junior academically, so he'll still be on this squad. Net front presence not going to change very much, but Central, 2 good opportunities this last minute. Try to cut inside. Andrew Porzonic to the net and can't get a shot off. Tried to go to his backhand, and he skated wide with it.
He made a really good play at center ice, Devin. He was flipped the puck on a pass ahead. He was able to glove it down and kind of bat it away from himself, pick up the puck and move in on the netminder and get a shot off.
Clements gets poke checked by Speaks, so it turns around back to Jace Johnson. Will play it to his defenseman, Josh Gilgren, stepping into that role. And for Gilgren, he'll return as well. The transfer from Atlanta, Georgia, Purdue Northwest. First time we've seen him on the blue line this year, but he played all of his collegiate career on defense for Purdue Northwest. Just switched to forward this year because Central had so many defensemen that they could play. And, you know, something notable about graduating players, only 1 defenseman on that side for CMU and the likes of Spencer Messina. So that blue line isn't going to change much either. With the likes of Sam Camara, who hopefully will return next year, dealt with some injuries down the stretch. Chris Martin will be back, Brendan Clements. So a lot to look forward to. 11:37 to go in this hockey game. It's Luke Vasilovich in the 4th line trying to muster something. It's turned over now, up that far side. We're trying to get to it quickly as Connor Chi with a goal in this game. Rimmed around his own boards by Bowerson. Caught up to by Hutchinson. Played out from Hop. We'll move it under the wickets. Attempted by Messina. Hop did a good job to get it out. Tough goal for that freshman He's had so many chances to score his first goal in the ACHA, and there's no time left in this game if he wants his first of the year. Late in this one. Had his own blue line. Played off the skate of Messina, didn't know where the puck was, and the Rafters did. So that'll stop play. And a reminder, fans, that next week is the MCHC semifinal and final. The Vesna Cup playoffs continue on MCHC.tv. Reagan Cleaves and I will have the call for you in the final for that one. But be sure to tune in to Inside Chippewa Hockey coming up in a week and a half as we'll recap those playoffs and get you ready for the national tournament. Some big announcements coming there as well. You can catch next week the Vesna Cup final on MCHC.tv. As I fumble that ad read.
It wasn't written down.
It really wasn't. It really wasn't. I've been at a pace this game, even though it's been somewhat start and stop here. What a second period, though, for Michigan in this game.
And you know, Devin, even with the men's 3, their season coming to an end, there's still a lot of Chippewa hockey going on. You got the women's Division 2 team wrapping up their season. They had a series against Loyola of Chicago canceled this weekend, so they're inactive, but they do have the CCWHA finals and the playoffs next weekend.
Yeah, good point. They had a series canceled against Loyola Chicago, so they're playing a maroon and gold scrimmage. You can catch that Sunday afternoon from Martin Ice Arena. There won't be a traditional senior night for them Chippewas, but ranked second in the Central Division. They are looking good. Central Region, they're looking good to get back to Nationals in St. Louis for the second straight year.
Second ever time, too.
Yeah, it's been a resurgence with the likes of Mac Barnett closing in on over 100 games played in the ACHA, Reagan. And last me and Joe Laser checked, she's top 10 in ACHA Women's 2 all-time in games played. Certainly an accomplishment we should celebrate for her.
Indeed, and I mean, credit to Chris Haney. He's really built up this Women's Division 2 program for the last 3 seasons. They struggled coming out of the COVID break, as a lot of teams did. They lost recruitment. Not a lot of people wanted to come and play hockey. We were still kind of in that pandemic mode, but since then, he has done a really good job. Recruited not just in the state of Michigan, but outside and even across international borders. And it's really done well for this CMU women's team, and they're definitely heading good directions.
CCWHA playoffs for them will go on next week. Catch that on Hockey TV, Flow Sports. Flow Hockey, I think, is their trademark name now, as they bought out Hockey TV. So no coverage from us this year, but a lot to look forward to with that group. Still a lot to look forward to. 9:08 to go in this hockey game. It's pinned up in Central Zone and along the boards. Officials motion them to free it up from Connor Morgan. He'll take a man down to the ice to get it free. That was Luke Anderson in there. Played with Mark Berglund and cleared out to the dead center zone. Connor Morgan flips into the air, cuts it inside. Some changes going on with Schultz coming off. On will be the senior, Andrew Porzondik, newly stated captain in the beginning of the Michigan series last weekend. And for Porzondik, a senior out of Macomb, Michigan, what a career it's been for him. 106 games played, 61 goals, 53 assists, over 110 points. 114, he will hold that for the final 8:24 of this game. And if this is the final career game of Andrew Porzondik's ACHA nod, what a career it was for him. Spectacular year last year, over 40 points. And he led his team to a third consecutive national tournament appearance.
And we saw sparks of that in the second semester, and it was really good to see Porzondik with that top line of him and Jay Nadeau and Owen Campbell really get that spark and be part of that 5-game winning streak. And he has had a very, very good career. Again, you said over 100 games played. He's got a bright future ahead of him, even if it's not in hockey.
Frank and Diane Porzondik have been massive supporters of this program. If they're watching us tonight, we thank you for all your years of support for CMU Division III hockey. 8 minutes to go in this game. Michigan trying to clear it out of the zone. It's hemmed to the boards by Porzondik. Long shot from the point by Bowerson is smothered by Aaron Locke. And what a game it has been for that young netminder, stepping in for a junior, Anthony Remick, who traveled abroad this year with the Michigan academic side. So Remick the former reigning MVP of the national tournament last year, led them to their first championship without him. But this Michigan team hasn't needed him. Locked through 14 games this year has been terrific. Over a 9-10 save percentage, 2.97. Some massive wins over Saginaw Valley State, the likes of Notre Dame. And this Michigan team, what will happen to them remains to be seen. They are number 20 in the nation. McGraw, part of the net, played it off the near side. They need this game to win by a lot. They need this score to hold. And whoever they play tomorrow, I'm certainly thinking they want to play Oakland, because if they have a chance at getting to the Natties, well, they got to beat a top 16 team.
Yeah, and really Oakland's probably the most likely shot, because you assume Oakland win. Well, actually, rather, if Oakland wins, Michigan will play penalty coming up here in Robertson. Check from behind.
And the whistle just played dead. It was cleared down the ice, so they'll send Robertson to the box for that. Getting to his feet over here on this near side. I don't see the player number. On one knee, just getting up gingerly. Good to see him okay. Michigan has only scored even strength tonight. They haven't had too many opportunities. Officially 0 for 2 on the night. But go to another one here. And yeah, for this team, their tough losses, losing 3 of the final 4 in the regular season. We're talking about Michigan here. To Oakland, first in overtime, and then 6-5. And splitting that series with CMU really hurt them. They dropped the most of any top 25 team this week, 7 spots from 13 to 20. And with 7:12 left, they're going to a power play. On their way to winning a 6th consecutive playoff game, if you count the national tournament. So they'll win the draw. Back to the point. Played across for Rathmann. He'll wind one up. Blocked off the body of Clements. He'll tie it up with 3 Wolverines in this near corner. Bottles works it free. Under the wickets of Connor Beamish. It's swatted out of traffic by Gilgren and sent down the length of the ice off this near boards. Connor Place is the one in after it. He'll backhand this one. Left there for Clements, who took that puck away shorthanded. Gets decked to the boards. Under the ice by Connor Place. That'll regain possession for the Wolverines. Place, the MCHC All-Dream Team defenseman. Play it out to center. Tommy Shea gets to it now. Pummeled by Beamish. Will stay on side, however. Up that far half wall to the point now for Place. Centered it back to that half wall. Michigan looking for the right shot. We'll cycle it down low. Look to center it up in front. Rathmatter thinks about it. Drops it off to the right circle. Chance. And a smothering save made by Woolery.
Yeah, and Caleb Woolery has played well in this game. A couple of ones that have bitten him. And there's nothing you can do about that Chi goal that his defenseman blocked the centering feed. But, I mean, he has played very well throughout this season, Devin. As you mentioned off the top, he's the only netminder with a winning record for CMU. He's probably going to be the de facto starter next season.
One-timer, score! Connor Chi with his 2nd of the night. Blasted home from the slot area. Past the shoulder. 5-0 Michigan with their first power play goal in 3 games against the Chippewas. Central was perfect on the penalty kill in 5 of their last 6 until that. So Michigan really takes a stranglehold and an all-important 5-0 lead.
Yeah, and it's really a textbook face-off win by this Michigan team. You see Chi receives the centering feed. He's got nobody within 15 feet of him, and it's a wide-open clapper into the back of the net at 14 minutes.
Connor Chi, 2nd of the playoffs, the sophomore of Pennsylvania. He's going to be a player to watch for them tomorrow if they're taking on either Northwood or Oakland. That game's still underway. Trying to bang it home was Owen Campbell, and a huge collision in front of the net. Out there with Sam Alpern. 2nd try up the left side, doesn't go for Rappoon. And back to center, it's a race for it. It's Danny Sullivan up right wing, all alone. Pushed to the boards by boot 2 Chippewas. Robertson and Rappoon. Robertson still down, winding up in front of the net was Mohammed. And Robertson gets to his feet and a whistle is called. And a lot of angry voices in this arena.
See who the penalty is going to be on.
Michigan fans don't like Robertson. Chippewa fans don't like 20 for Michigan. Sullivan. There's a conversation with Owen Campbell.
And the back official made the penalty call. It's going to be a checking from behind on somebody. It might be on Andrew, and it is going to be on Andrew Porzondik.
And that's unfortunate. The Chippewa team fighting till the end. 5:24 left. You see that effort by Robertson and Rapoon, two young defensemen out there. Rather, Rapoon's the sophomore. Robertson is playing his final game. A senior out of Livonia, Michigan. And Porzondik will go to the box for another Michigan power play. And why I say that 5-goal advantage is all important, well, the rankings give you points up to 5 goals in differentials in games. So what does that mean? The more goals you get, the higher chance you have of the game meaning more towards your ranking. And this Michigan team needs all they can get. They're not done yet. Up to the point. They'll cycle it up for Tommy Shea. He'll push it back down low, whether that was place. Put it ahead there for Rathmanner. Off the boards. Now here's Shea touching with it. Robertson in a battle for it with Speaks. Set it up for Shea, trying to look for his second goal, and he put it wide. Now Rapoon in a scrum for it with Speaks. He'll drag it wide. Great play to intercept that pass by Campbell. Skates in alone over the red line. Will dump it in. Got his pocket picked. Shea under his wickets. Gets it back to his defenseman Rathmanner, and he'll button hook. Campbell takes this puck away. Tries to go behind, skirting the near side. Still chopping away at it. And for now, it's Locke holding on, and there's going to be a conversation had as Campbell took a number of whacks behind that net, trying to patiently score.
I mean, if you're Owen Campbell, I don't blame you there. Whistle wasn't blown. You saw the puck. You're jamming away at it. It's a completely fair game, but I also understand the fact that Michigan responds to that and goes after Owen Campbell there. So the referees realize that too, so no penalties on either side coming out of that.
It's still a Michigan power play. That would have been a shorthanded chance. 1:11 is the time for Porzondik with 4:34 to go in this first round of the MCHC playoffs. Coming up after this one on this ice right now is Saginaw Valley and U of M Flint. So Saginaw and Flint fans starting to gather here as this one's just about to wrap up. Connor Cheat leaves that pass there for Hornet up that far wing. Cheat played it off the boards. Evades traffic from Bottles. Behind the net, it's Horner. Central still putting on the defense here. Beamish having down Michigan, forcing them to the net, and they put that shot wide. Might have got blocked once.
Yeah, you can see Connor Chi moving into the slot when Michigan gets the cycle, and he's continually left wide open. Michigan trying to set up what worked for them last time.
And what worked for them last time was a one-timer by Connor Chi. He's got the puck back to the slot. Takes one on net. Great save, Woolery. Second try doesn't go. It's loose on the back door, and they score. Danny Sullivan stuck with that. Got pummeled as he shot the puck away. But over the shoulder again of Woolery. 6-0, back-to-back power play goals.
And this one, Caleb Woolery makes a couple of good saves. He makes the initial stop on the shot from the middle of the ice. He has to move to his left, make a pad save on that. So we get a second look here. And as you see Michigan entering the zone, Connor Chi lets the shot go from the right circle. Woolery makes the second save. It goes behind the net and then right on the back door.
Man, what a pass. That was Reagan. I wasn't sure who the player was, but they backhanded that with all kinds of pressure in the trapezoid. And Sullivan has himself the first of the night. That's now 5 different goal scorers in this game for Michigan in the first round of the playoffs. Played out of the body of Vasilovich, and he'll put it into the air. Connor Chi was all over for that. We'll see if he gets the secondary assist. Minor post-game show coming up after this. We'll recap this final game for CMU of the season and talk about what was a up and down roller coaster year. Brendan Schultz is getting into it with a player across the way. That's Gavin Popeye. Vasilovic will dump this one deep to the zone. Still in after it is Porzondik. He's going to take a pressure off there from Austin Ritter. That might be the final shift of Austin Ritter's college career. Vasilovic backhands this one from the blue line. Up this near wall. Kyle Robertson has been an efficient defenseman for them all year. Scrappy for pucks, has kept plays alive, was instrumental in their wins over Oakland and Northwood, along with that sweep of Illinois State. Caleb Woolery, despite allowing 6 goals, has played about as good as any goalie can tonight. Has had trouble with the rebounds. And he's young, only a freshman. He'll be with this program hopefully for a while. Rapone, we're down to the final 2 minutes of this MCHC first round game. To the slot area, taken away by DeVries. Hard to the net. Sullivan looking for his second goal. And that one is taken away by Nadu. Porzondik off the boards of his bench. Sent back in. Down the stretch, Central won 5 of the last 8 games of the regular season. They all did it on home ice against Oakland in a big win against the number 12 team in the country. It would be their highest ranked win of the year. Went on to sweep Illinois State in a pair of games, only allowing a goal in that series. And then Northwood, a tightly contested 6-3 win. And then 3-1, lost their road game. Went on to play Michigan 4-2 in Canton. But then on senior night, pulled off the upset in what was a game that I'm sure myself and many other Chippewa fans and players will remember for a long time, with just how dramatic it was down the stretch. We had a great after-party session at the Cabin. It's a local bar down the street on Broomfield. And it was a great time.
Yeah, it was one heck of a win. Once in a 5-year chance, CMU gets to say they beat the Michigan Wolverines in regulation, and Maize and Blue once again assert their dominance in this series. It's a tough end of the year for CMU, but they got a lot. They got a lot to be proud of.
Certainly. We're under the final minute of this one. 44 seconds to go. Central continues to fight into the attacking zone. Messina leaves it there for a shot on net. It got blocked by Alpern. Kept in by Bowerson. Now they're out. Michigan with numbers the other way. It's dumped over the blue line by Anderson. In after it will go Horner. Bishop plays it back from Messina. Final 20 seconds. Assistant captain Spencer Messina, his final game. Many with the Division II squad out of Rosemont, Illinois, will lead the final 10 seconds. Michigan, fighting for their playoff lives, comes into Crystal Fieldhouse and asserts that dominance. 6-0. They win over the Chippewas. They advance to tomorrow, while Central Michigan's season comes to an end against the team they played their final 3 against. They'll smother the young netminder Caleb Woolery, and those host of 10 seniors will gather on the benches for hugs, along with Brendan Martin. 6-0 the final score here from Crystal Fieldhouse, as Michigan is moving on to tomorrow to take on the winner of Northwood and Oakland. As the handshake line will gather, some more hugs to Sam Zavelson, who saved a number of great opportunities last week for his final game as a Chippewa. Spencer Messina, Josh Gilgren hugging Andrew Porzondik, the captain out there, Austin Ritter. Emotional end for many seniors, and the Chippewa fans will applaud. They'll gather at center ice. The greatest tradition in the game of hockey is the handshake line. A valiant fought last 3 games. Michigan took the first one 4-2 in Canton, and then it was Central following up on home ice. But tonight at this neutral site, it was all chalk as the Wolverines, the 4 seed, take down Central here from Burton. Post-game show coming up next with myself and Reagan, and we'll talk about this one and more. Final score, 6-0. Michigan wins over CMU. Welcome back to Burton, Michigan for the postgame show. The final in this one, Michigan 6, CMU 0. The Wolverines, who had a tightly contested series the last 3 games, finish with a dominating performance. They scored 4 goals in the second period for the second game in 3, like they did in their 4-2 win last week. And the final 2 goals in this one in the third. But it's Central, who came in with a lot of the underdog mentality. Some big wins down the stretch, won 5 of their final 8 regular season games. A tough way to finish the season, but what a stretch it was this second semester, Reagan. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. 5 wins at home to finish the season. All of them, all of their wins in the second semester coming at home. They struggled on the road like they did tonight, but really, CMU, they've got a bright future. You got Caleb Woolery, who got the bulk of the starts this second semester in net, all but 2 of them, to be, for a matter of fact. And I think that not only do you have Caleb Woolery in net, you've also got a lot of young guys up front. Connor Morgan stepped up this second semester. It should be a good couple of more years.
Yeah, Morgan finished with 9 goals on the year. He was one of the most impressive parts of a team that really struggled to score. But when they did, it was a lot of fireworks. Let's take you through our recap. Like we mentioned, Connor Chi got Michigan started at the 139 mark of the second, Bradley Schessel, followed up by Tommy Shea. Chi got the assist on that. It's a 5-point night for Connor Chi, who had 2 goals, 3 assists in this contest to lead the way, followed up by Andrew Speaks, as well as Danny Sullivan. 5 out of the 6 goals from 5 different goal scorers. Very impressive from across the board. And, the talk of this Michigan team coming into this game was that they really needed to win not only against this team, but win big, because they're on the outside looking in. The reigning national champions are ranked 20th right now. They need a lot of good scores in order to bump back into the top 16, and even if they do that, they need some help.
Yeah, and they do. And right now, on the other rank right now, we got Northwood up 2-0 on Oakland. Michigan is most likely going to play either Saginaw Valley State, or they have a possibility of playing somebody else. But they're most likely going to play SVSU. We'll see how the rest of the bracket shakes out. That is a must-win game for them. SVSU is ahead of them in the standings. Of course, SVSU does need to beat Michigan Flint tonight, but they're most likely going to play them. It's going to be a tough road for Michigan to get back into the national tournament to defend their title, and that started tonight with a big win.
Yeah, we're talking about that because right now Northwood is leading Oakland, the 3-seed Oakland, down 2 goals to the 6-seeded Northwood. If Northwood wins that game, they are the lowest remaining seed. They would take on what we presume would be a Lawrence Tech win. They're taking on number 8 seed Adrian tonight, but the way this Adrian team has played this year, it'd be a tough task to beat the likes of Lawrence Tech. So you're looking at, potential for Saginaw to play, but they got to take care of business. The Cardinals do against U of M Flint coming up here in just a short bit. But taking a look, Reagan, at your impact players tonight, Porzanik and Clements were your 2 for CMU. They didn't get on the board, but Clements played a lot of ice time, and Porzanik had his chances.
Yeah, both of them played very well, and Porzanik making his last start as a CMU Chippewa. He has led this team through the second semester since Christopher Martin has been ruled out, or was ruled out, and he finished the year well. Led this team in a way. He certainly stepped up into that role, scored a lot of points over the course of the second semester, and was all over the ice here tonight. And then Brandon Clements played well tonight, but not a ton of impact.
Yeah, I think the coolest part about Porzanik, stats aside, was getting to wear that C on his sweater the final regular season weekend, and then tonight he certainly earned it the way he's played not only this year but his entire career. 114 points, was the leading scorer last year. Certainly a career to celebrate for Andrew Porzanik out of Macomb. The other side of things, Connor Chi was the other player to watch for Reagan. 5 points tonight, 2 goals, 3 assists. Remarkable in the first playoff game. And then Tommy Shea had himself a goal.
Yeah, both Michigan dominated this game start to finish, and really it was credit to Connor Chi. He's not the leading scorer on this team, but now he has 13 goals on the year and 13 points. He's got 26 on the campaign. Tommy Shea, the leader for this team, is going to be big going ahead. If Michigan does end up getting into that national tournament, they're going to rely on those 2 guys to take them deep.
Yeah. And your 3 stars of the game presented by CMHIceHockey.com. 3rd star will go to Aaron Locke for the shutout tonight. We don't know the shots. Tommy Shea, 2nd star for the goal. And Connor Chi, 5-point night with the first star of this game. That wraps up CMU's season tonight. They're 11th in club history. They finished the year 11-12, 2-1 in the regular season, 11-13, 2-1 overall, but winning record in conference play, and that's something to celebrate. And Reagan, as we wrap up our post-game show tonight, I want to take a moment just to reflect with you kind of our favorite moments of the year.
Yeah.
You know, what stands out to you in a year that had a lot of ups and downs? As that loud horn sounds for the home team, U of M Flint. We'll wait for that to pass real quick. It's a loud one.
Yep.
But what comes to mind when you think of this season?
I mean, this season has been a lot of up and down, but we had a really good start to the year and a really good end to the year in terms of the regular season. We started with, I think, it was 3 straight wins and 4 out of the first 5. It was really an overall great start to the season. Yeah, the middle part of the year didn't go as well, but you finished the second semester, as we've harped on all night, undefeated at home. Yeah, you struggled on the road, but you won in front of your home crowd in what is really a fun barn to play in the Martin, and pretty good season.
Well, I'll tell you what, one moment that's always going to stick with me about this season was that final horn last week against Michigan. I think all year kind of the story was they were always playing from behind. They had a really tough end of the first semester against Grand Valley and Florida Gulf Coast. And you just wanted to see them go out with something big, and they did that against one of the best teams in the country. Put Michigan in a tough spot.
Yeah.
You know, we just told this whole story about them being 20, but you know, there's a lot of seniors on that CMU squad, 10 of them each, and I have a lot of love and admiration for all of those guys, and I'm happy to see them go out on that. That's going to be a game that I remember. I think we will for a long time. As we wrap up this final post-game show of the season, we'd like to thank you, first of all, the fans, supporters, and players that have enjoyed this coverage of CMU Division III hockey. It's been a fun 4 years. I am graduating this year and moving on to things with my undergrad career, so I want to thank you first, my partner Reagan Cleaves, for all the great times, buddy, in the last 3 years. I started doing this with Calvin, and you know, Calvin's one of our good friends now, and we've all been able to pool our efforts, and this league is so much fun to watch, and glad to do it with the best partner in the ACHA.
Yeah, it's been one heck of a 3-year journey with you, man, and I wouldn't want to call a game with anybody else. It's going to be different next year, but good luck to you.
Don't make me emotional, man. Come on.
Why
I'm not
not?
a crier, man.
Why can't I make you emotional?
Because we got more on the way.
We do have more on the way, but we don't have any more games
Wait.
here.
Not anymore here.
Yeah.
Not anymore on CCHN, as that's going to do it for our coverage of the Division III hockey team. Once again, thank you for sticking with us this entire season. Next up for us will be the MCHC tournament. The semifinal and Vesna Cup final will be on MCHC.tv. You can catch myself and Reagan on the call for the Vesna Cup final, and more things to come after that. And good luck to our Women's Division II team as they continue on with their hopes for a second straight bid to nationals. But tonight, the final score reads 6-0 in favor of the Michigan Wolverines. They are moving on to potentially take on either Northwood or Saginaw Valley State, as those two teams, the Wolverines of U of M Flint and Saginaw, get ready to play in front of us. But tonight, Michigan wins 6-0 over Central Michigan. For our entire crew, Ian Drayton running the camera operation, Sam Tabazinski running the ones and twos. You know why? I know why you're smiling. I know why you're grinning. Love you, buddy. Thank you, Sam, for all your efforts this year. Great job by our production crew. And thank you again to the fans, supporters, and players for a wonderful 4 years. Thank you for watching this presentation of the MCHC playoffs right here on CCHN. Thank you for watching, and have a great night, everybody.